are off tonight. They lose in Boston last night, 117 to 113. Cavs yet to get their 40th win of the season.
But they a special win.
Will, what's that?
They want it to be a special win at home against Detroit.
Yeah, they will most likely beat Detroit Saturday night, 7:30 here on WMMS. We will be preempted by Guardians baseball tomorrow. We will not be on tomorrow. 3:05 is your first pitch. Guardians live from Goodyear against the Milwaukee Brewers on MMS. Mikey in Toronto, Ohio. I was just talking about Toronto because Wade from Weirton called right across the river from you.
Okay. Nice.
What's up, Mikey?
That was really nice of you to mention Wayne Shorter. I
was nice
a Cats fan, and I was kind of a little upset that I haven't heard any radio stations. I heard NPR made a vague reference to Jeff Beck dying about a month ago. Probably the greatest guitarist of our time. Yeah, Jimi Hendrix was not as good. Jeff Beck, I mean, is an incredible guitar player in his later years. He didn't get worse as older. He got better. And nobody's mentioned Jeff Beck ever on any radio station I've heard.
Well, the day he died, I did about 10 minutes on him, Mike.
Oh, I'm sorry I missed it.
Sounds like
nice
it, but that's okay. Well, you got a life to lead. Yeah.
That's nice, Alan. That's a way to go. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. There's Mikey in Toronto, Ohio. That's why it's always dangerous to take one situation and say, nobody has done this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the problem with Toronto, Ohio, too, and boy, you want to talk about Bill's business plan for fentanyl-laced chicken. The poor, fine people there in Toronto, Ohio, right on the river, that town has been ravaged, nay, the region, by chicken-laced fentanyl. And, wow, it's something that you never think could happen to you, but in fact it could and has to the fine people there in Toronto, Ohio.
No, can't always get what you want, but you get what you need.
I guess so.
I don't know if that applies in this situation, but there it is.
Boy, you want to talk about bad timing. Just when Powerade decides they want to do a just when Powerade decides they want to do a massive rebrand, they're going to do a massive campaign. Who owns Powerade? It's probably Coke or Pepsi.
I think it's Coke, yeah.
All right, so Powerade's first athlete partnership in more than 5 years. They say, we want to just get in people's faces. We're relaunching our brand. We've got our first athlete partnership in half a decade. Ja Morant. What could go wrong with this guy? He's going to be
He's one of the up-and-coming players in the NBA.
Yep, that's right.
He's having an awesome first few years of his career, and then what happens?
I guess he pulled a gun on a teenager and punched him or something last summer, and so that story comes out.
Yeah.
The campaign with Ja Morant from the Memphis Grizzlies, of course, is expected to be the largest in Powerade history. And I like when these guys, when you're endorsing a new product, and we all know this, when we're endorsing a new product, it's imperative that you get the point across to people that it's a product that you use, or that it's something that affects you in a very meaningful way. And, of course, Ja Morant says, I see a lot of myself in a brand like Powerade. So that's good. I mean, but, yeah, about the same time where they announced that. And, again, this isn't something that happens overnight, right? A company doesn't call Ja Morant's agent and go, hey, we want to be the face of Powerade. This is something months in the making. And when you're contending with professional athletes of any sport, you probably are clenching your sphincter for months, hoping that nothing happens. Please don't get caught in a club with a pistol in your sweatpants. Please don't get caught on an elevator video punching your girlfriend. Please don't get caught, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, on the eve of this big launch with Powerade there, Ja Morant is in a bit of trouble. He's accused of repeatedly punching a teenage boy in the head and threatening him with a firearm.
Why repeatedly? If you're going to do it, just punch him once. Like, why would
You're
you do
trying
it
to send a message.
just repeatedly. That's
Not
where
only
you messed up.
not only repeatedly, but still pull out the gun. If you're going to pull out the gun, you hit him once and then you pull the gun. You go, okay.
Usually
But they
they
hit
pull
him
the gun-
repeatedly in the head, and then, to underscore your point, the force multiplier.
Usually you pull out the gun and the guy runs. Like, the
Well,
gun
also,
does
they're
work
at
for you.
Ja's house when this happened. Like,
Right? Things can pop off anywhere. This
I
was
know, but it's really rude to invite someone to your house and then punch them in the head and pull a gun on them. Like, that's not good manners.
Hey,
I don't care
do
about it, but
that
it's not
out on the
good
lawn.
manners.
And that was 4 days after he and his group got into a fight with the security at a mall in Memphis. It was during a pickup basketball game at Ja Morant's house. So everybody knew each other. I mean, ostensibly. Maybe he was a +1 or something. Kid was 17, and Ja Morant's only a few years older than that.
He's only 23.
Said he punched him a dozen times during a pickup basketball game.
Yeah, and Poundcake's kind of right. Like, if the first 2 punches aren't getting the job done.
Yeah, a dozen times.
I can't think of the last time I, punched someone and wanted to hurt them. Like, punching people, it's kind of old-fashioned. It's outdated.
Well, it still happens, boy. It's spreading like wildfire. People still love getting into physical
You
altercations.
got to keep that shotty close.
Ja Morant and his friend hit the kid so hard that he said that he had a large knot on the side of his head, which
You
police
better not to mention that again.
police said they observed the knot themselves. And then Ja Morant went into his house, came back with his hand on a gun visible in the waistband of his pants.
Always cool in front of cops.
I think this was before the
Yeah, I think
cops
it was-
got
yeah.
there.
Oh, I thought the cops were telling us.
No. Ja Morant, in his defense, says that it was in self-defense. You know, once you punch a guy in the head 12 or 13 times, he can still be a fatal threat. He believes that the boy was the aggressor because he threw a ball at Ja Morant's head. I guess I just don't understand why, and maybe I have a very simplistic view of being a professional athlete, but I think if an investment has been made in your body, you're getting paid tens of millions of dollars. Is Ja Morant a high earner?
Yeah.
Okay, I know he's very prominent, but I don't know if that's been reflected in. Okay.
Yeah.
So here's somebody who is, your cream of the crop. You're lucky enough to be making tens of millions of dollars. And you're getting into stuff like this, or like back when I was in Pittsburgh and Roethlisberger was riding his motorcycle with no helmet. I mean, that guy's a lummox anyway, so it's not like it was really going to do that much damage to him. But I mean, you have an organization that is investing millions of dollars in your physical well-being. And I guess you got a life to lead. And if you like walking around with a gun in the waistband of your sweatpants, that's the life you live in. But holy cow. They decided that there was not enough evidence to proceed with the case. And so it was dropped. Yeah, because you can write the kid a check. You get out of it. Anyway, I don't know why this has come to light now, since it happened like last summer. But,
Sometimes people like to sit on a story. They know the details, and they go, let's wait till we can really mess something up for them.
Yeah, but again, it's not like it's going to mess anything up. It's just, it's more.
Doesn't look good, though.
It kind of, no, but it kind of makes
Everybody
you
should be
chuckle a
talking
bit.
about Powerade, and instead we're talking about Ja Morant throwing some soft lefts that didn't quite knock this kid out.
I guess so. Well, listen, all Powerade wants you to know is, let's not focus on that. Let's focus on us having 50% more electrolytes than Gatorade.
Boom.
That's the...
They really have 50% more?
Take that to the bank. It's marketing. What does that mean? It means nothing.
I don't know. But it sounds good.
We've got 50% more electrolytes than Gatorade. People are like, oh, hey.
I want more electrolytes.
I'll buy that.
Give me some more electrolytes.
Yeah.
Like, it probably costs the same as Gatorade, so give me more electrolytes. It probably just means more sugar in the... Right?
Yeah, I don't know. Ja Morant was partnered with Body Armor sports drink. Of course, now he's going to be part of the Powerade family. Oh, I guess that same company. Coke owns Body Armor and Powerade.
So they're using Ja to relaunch Powerade.
There you go. That's what it is. And what is Ja short for? Tell me it's short for James, because that would be the greatest abbreviation of James. Everybody else is going by James, Jimmy. He's going by Ja. Is it James?
It's Ja Jacob Jingleheimer Smith.
Hey, his name's my name too.
All one word.
Demetrius Jamel Ja Morant. Okay, Demetrius. Why not TJ? TJ Morant. That's like a cool kind of...
He's Ja.
Jamel Ja. All right. Well, pass it to Ja if you're going to light it up. So anyway, it's a big week for him between Powerade and the however much money he had to write to that kid, I assume. Maybe Ja Morant is just naughty by nature. Listen, I have no, Stephen Canton thrown in there, but I have no expertise on him other than the fact that I only know him from Memphis Grizzlies. Who did he play for before the Grizzlies? Or did he get drafted by the Grizzlies?
He was drafted by the Grizzlies, yeah.
How do you spell his last name?
Morant.
You should have asked him.
I thought it was Morand, not Morant.
Morant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next, you're going to tell me you don't know how to spell Demetrius.
I can sound it out, but I don't mean it's going to be right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm slobbering on myself. I didn't mean to.
It's too many electrolytes.
Alan Ja Morant's posse also pointed guns with laser lights at the Pacers team bus. Well, listen, maybe he won't last the length of the Powerade contract. I thought maybe he was from Memphis. Maybe he knows how things go down, but he's not, boy. He's from tiny town South Carolina. He got the hell out of Dalzell, South Carolina. Never looked back.
I can't believe, and again, this is the old man in me because I'm 30 now, so everyone just looks young to me. But
shut up, Poundcake.
I'm just
the
saying,
old man in me.
This guy looks so much older than 23. Like, he got hella tattoos. He looks like he should be 30. Like, he looks like a grown man. He
is a grown man. He's 23.
23 is not a grown man.
Yes, it is. At what age do you think you're a grown man?
I don't know.
Maybe you're the wrong person to ask.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know.
23 is a grown man.
Okay, well, he just looks...
I mean,
he's also a basketball player, so
he's big.
He's big. Even though he's a smaller player on the court, he's still, I think, like 6'2".
I take your point. Like, when I watch college football and these guys have their helmets off, I go, Jesus, that guy looks 40.
That's what I'm saying.
I look like I was 12 when I was in college. Yeah. These guys are like, yeah, I'm the court. I'm like, holy Christ. That dude's 20 or whatever. You know, they're still in college.
Yeah, I'm at the point now where I'm getting like Facebook memories from like my college times, and I'm like, oh God, look how now I physically look older. Like, I looked real young then. I didn't look like a 21, 22-year-old. I looked like a guy trying to be a 21, 22-year-old.
Yeah, I got one of those. What's wild is if you get a Facebook memory I got one from 2009 before I even came to MMS. And that was back when Facebook was mostly just people posting status updates.
Right.
Right? And you sit there and you go, how pathetic. You know, like the Hoover Dam. How lame to have been on Facebook still. You want to talk about, we're all still on Facebook? Oh, so weak.
And like the statuses that I thought people actually cared, I'm just like, oh. So, like, and I got to the point where this was back when Facebook would just be like Cody, and then you put the status like, so it said, is really angry right now. I can't believe everyone hates me. And I would put like an emoji, like it would be like something so ridiculous and so dramatic. You're just like, I hate this world and everyone in it. Everyone leave me alone. And it'd just be like a red face emoji. I'm like, oh God. What
they all started,
problem?
all the status updates started with a verb.
Yeah.
Because he was just like, Cody blank. Cody is sleeping.
And honestly, or like, I'm bored, text me.
Yeah.
Like, why did I feel like I need to spill out my life back then? And I was getting like a like. I was getting like one lonely person who was probably just as lonely or maybe lonelier than I was. Like. And that's all I needed for validation at, I don't know, 17. I think I got a Facebook when I was 17.
Yeah, people were not, by the way, people were not buying your story when I was talking about that girl who got called out when she was interviewing Michael B. Jordan.
Not buying my story?
Yeah, when you were, here, I'll play you one of the messages I got.
Hey guys, it's Aaron from Canton. I'm listening to the bit about Michael B. Jordan getting salty with the lady on the red carpet, and I can't believe Poundcake's take where he's acting like he would not do worse than what Michael B. Jordan would do. Now, even with a modicum of celebrity in a small town, he would chew somebody's ass in a Walmart parking lot for less. So I'm not buying it. Hate the show.
Yeah, because I said, you got to call them out. This girl who went to high school with Michael B. Jordan back in the day and called him corny and then said on a podcast they made fun of him. And then she meets him on the red carpet. She's like, you and I go way back. He's like, yeah, you called me corny. You're making fun of me. No, I wasn't. And you said you thought it was stupid to even acknowledge it. And I'm like, of course you would acknowledge. I cop to it. I would.
I would do it probably off camera. I wouldn't put so because
what's the point of doing anything in showbiz off camera?
Because there is a camaraderie amongst people in the industry. I don't want her to she might lose her job over that for calling.
She's not going to lose her. She
might.
Well, then she shouldn't have said it on a podcast.
Okay, well, this is for
it
me.
Wasn't like they both. It wasn't like they both. This is a situation where it's not like they both had a different recollection of something that happened 15 years ago. This was something she was puffing up her chest, talking to who knows what this podcast was. And sad for those guys that apparently she didn't think anybody would hear it.
Well, selfishly.
And then runs into him. He's like, again, trying to, act like they're boys or whatever. And he's like, no, you used to call me corny and make fun of me, and I heard it. And,
I know,
but I didn't.
You don't think that comes off a little like he's Michael B. Jordan? He's a ripped dude. He seems to have done well and has a really great life. What I still feel like for him, I'm not speaking out for me. I'm saying if I was in his position, the optics look like he is punching down.
No, it's not.
Yes, it does.
She brought it up.
Yes, but he could just
smile
and say, I know what it is.
She was trying to big time him, and she brought it up.
Yeah, he just.
So what he could have done would just be like, yeah, da-da-da. He could just be petty and smile or whatever. Then once the camera turns off, it'd be like,
but there's no point in doing it then.
Because,
Yes, you're right. No, you're right. He could have done that. But I would not have done that, and I don't believe that you would have done that. I don't believe you. You're my chief petty officer. You better not do that. If you were on camera with somebody and they tried to do that and you were like, yeah, I remember you. You were the one hell's yes, I would do that.
Okay. So I guess it depends on the level of his embarrassment or the level of his...
He didn't look embarrassed to me.
His anger.
To your point, he's a big star. He's in great shape, right? It's not like he was standing there crying. He's going down a red carpet. So he's talking to 100 different entertainment reporters.
The reason why I bring it up is because I don't know if him being called corny from her bothered him that much. If it bothered me, if someone did something back in the day that truly bothered me, that I've had to get therapy over, and it was a very traumatic experience in my past, and now they're trying to be all buddy-buddy with me, I might do something like that.
But that's exactly what happened.
But
that's what
is traumatic for him.
And that's
not traumatic, but it's still like
give me a break.
They were getting, they were making fun of him for doing what he was doing, and he remembered it, and then and then she acted like they were pals, and they weren't.
But in the grand scheme of things, is she roasting him for having a little D or like something like that, something that will hurt his career? Like she called him corny, and something like that is just going to prove her point. Like he's a big star looking at a reporter, probably not the reporter, but a reporter that they just happen to send out. And I guarantee you she got sent out because they go way back. So, therefore, she was only there to take the L and make Michael B. Jordan look like, yeah, I put her in her place. I just feel like...
you're reading way into it.
Nah, man.
Reading way into it. This is the span of a 10-second interaction. He's going person to person to person. Here's the lady from Extra. Here's the lady from Entertainment Tonight.
They put
Here's
her there.
the lady from this. Huh?
I guarantee you they put her there. She was probably like, oh, I know Michael B. Jordan.
Of course they did. And if he hadn't said anything... she would have continued to do that. Every article about that, every time she posted that video would have been, here's my boy from science class, Michael B. Jordan, you got to do that on video. You got to do that on camera. Yeah, I remember you. Now, if she hadn't, because I think in that interaction he said, no, I heard it. Meaning he heard what she said on the podcast.
So he's...
This wasn't him hanging on to something from 15 years ago. This was responding to what she just said to somebody else, bragging about making fun of him in school and then coming face to face with him and pretending like that didn't happen. She was counting on him not having heard what she said. And he was like, no, I remember. You said it. No, I didn't. Yeah, you did.
But the things that I would...
Shouldn't you stand by what you say? We're all expected to. We're all, whether people like it or not, we are expected to stand by what we say, which is precisely why you choose your words carefully.
That's why I mispronounce them often, so that I can always correct myself later on.
So I can always backtrack.
Sayonara, suckers, or whatever he said.
Now that
oh, God, it smells good in here. Doesn't it? Party's swinging now. And
Yeah.
it just smells like, we've been talking about chicken patties all day. It smells like, oh, man, it smells good. There's a retirement party going on out there for one of our longtime employees. It just got underway.